Hello everyone, welcome back. Savard is here, coming back with a new part of What If Deku Had Air Cannon. Now, where we last left off, Toga and Twice have joined UA for the fight against All For One, because Toga is angry that All For One took control over Izuku body and Izuku is kinda dead. So she decided to go into UA thinking that All might have an actual way to get Izuku back, which he actually does. And Twice came with her too because, well, she's his friend and he cared for her and for the things that she loves, so he came with her. And before we get right into it, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's just get right into it. And right now, let's continue with Tartarus Prison, and specifically with All Might and, of course, Nighteye just going through the Tartarus Prison with the Chief of Police, and the Chief of Police said, "Are you sure about this, All Might? He's a dangerous villain, and you could not expect what he will gonna do." "Well, I know that he might be dangerous, but we need all the help that we could possibly get from anybody, even if it was a villain. We already took Twice and Toga under our hands to work with us, so we need more power. All For One is no joke, and this city will gonna turn very soon into a war zone, so we need to hit him as hard as possible in the place where he will gonna get hurt." As after that, immediately Nighteye said, "Yes, you're right, All Might, but I would like from you to leave this to me, alright?" "Wait, Nighteye, you're not serious? You want me to just... Please, let me take care of this. I know how to convince him to work with us. Just let me talk with him." As All Might just looking into Nighteye eyes, and he's looking so serious, so All Might agreed to that. And after that, the Chief of Police said, "Well, All Might, if you're not going inside, how about I take you outside of the prison?" As, of course, All Might looking into the Chief of Police and said, "Wait a minute, I want to talk with another prisoner. Can I do that?" As the Chief of Police said, "Are you sure?" As All Might said, "I am sure. Please let me talk with someone else." As after that, the Chief of Police take All Might somewhere else to talk with another prisoner, while Nighteye is still with the rest of the guards of the prison. So they got him inside the cell that he wanted to talk with the prisoner of it. As they just close the door behind Nighteye, make him sit on the chair and turn on the lights. As Nighteye see in front of him All For One, Overhaul being wrapped into a chair. And after that, Overhaul said, "Nighteye, why are you here? Are you here to laugh at my face or something like that?" "Well, not really. I'm here to give you an offer." "An offer? Well, I refuse. How about you leave me here until the day of my death? I doesn't want to talk with someone like you." "Well, really? I was thinking that you were gonna get more excited after I tell you that you will be able to take your revenge." "Wait, what are you talking about? What kind of revenge?" As Nighteye said, "Stop acting like you doesn't know anything, Overhaul. I know that you want your revenge. Your revenge upon Izuku Midoriya, the guy that betrayed you?" As, of course, Overhaul looking down, quite angry, and said, "Yeah, and even if I want to take revenge upon him, what do you want from me?" "Well, let me tell you this. You know All For One very well. Well, let me tell you this. He took control over Izuku Midoriya body, and right now, Izuku Midoriya is kinda dead, and we need to stop All For One." As immediately Overhaul getting surprised and said, "Wait, you mean that Izuku Midoriya is All For One's son? You mean that All For One just took his own son body? That's horrible." As Nighteye say, "Yeah, kinda horrible, but at the same time you will be able to take revenge upon the person that got you into this place in the first place, All For One, right? What do you say? Join us against our fight into our fight against All For One, and we will gonna take 10 years off of your punishment in Tartarus, and you will gonna take your revenge. What do you say?" As Overhaul said, "Are you serious about that?" "I'm 100% serious, and also, I want you to do something specifically for me. You can say something like, I owe you one. As after that, Overhaul said, alright, I agree to that. It's better than just sitting inside this stupid cell, but I want my whole team with me. Rappa, the Corona, and also Mimic and the others. I want them to join me. As after that, Nighteye said, well, alright, but you will only get Corona and Rappa. Just those two, alright? As Overhaul said, alright, I'm gonna take those two with me. You have a deal. As after that, immediately, Nighteye said, alright, I'm gonna come back after a couple of minutes. As after that, Nighteye left the place. And while that happening, with All Might inside his own cell, the chief of police said, are you ready, All Might? As All Might said, I am ready, just turn on the lights. As they turn on the lights, and All Might see in front of him none other than the hero killer Stain. As immediately All Might said, hello Stain. I think that you know why I am here, right? As Stain just looking down and after that into the eyes of All Might and said, just tell me, what did he do this time? And let's cut into All For One inside his own hideout with the rest of the League of Villains and Tomura Shigaraki and the rest. As right now, it's been of course one day, and Izuku still inside All For One head, trying to break out, but All For One is still in control. And All For One is just sitting on the bar, drinking some things with Shigaraki. As after that, Shigaraki said, so Master, when are we going to attack you, eh? As after that, All For One said, don't worry Tomura, it will gonna be soon. Maybe after tomorrow will be a good timing. Tell me, how is your villain collecting mission is going on? As Tomura said, oh, we done a great job, Master. I got a lots of villains. And the doctor told me that he will gonna give me another couple of Nomus. High ends. As of course, All For One said, good thing. Well, just make sure to keep on the good work. I'm gonna go to talk with someone else. As after that, Tomura said, alright, Master. And after that, All For One coming out of the hideout, and after, of course, Kurigiri teleporting him into the forest, he's talking with the doctor on his phone. As the doctor said, you are getting there, Master. He will be about 10 other kilometers away from you. As after that, All For One said, I'm gonna get there in less than 10 seconds. As after that, he just closed the phone and putting his left hand into the ground and said, alright, Izuku have done it in this way. I wonder if I can do the same. As All For One just putting his hand down and shooting an air cannon off of it. Basically shooting himself up into the air and start basically flying into the, up in the air and flying into like the place that he want to go to. As after a couple of minutes just flying, and he's just keeping himself in the air by using air cannon and airwalk to fast himself, he finally fall into the ground in front of Gigantomachia. As after that, Giganto turned around and said, young master, is that you? I'm happy that you came here to meet me, and I'm sorry for... Machia, stop crying. As after that, Machia said, wait, this voice, you are master. As after that, he just fall on his face and start crying in front of All For One as he said, wait, is this you, Master? Tell me, this is really you. The smell, it's your smell, it must be you. As after that, All For One coming closer into Machia and put his hand on his face and said, shh, calm down, Machia, it's alright, I'm here. Are you ready? Because I'm gonna use you again. As Machia said, alright, Master, just tell me what is the mission. Anything, I'm gonna do anything. Alright, Machia, that's what I like to hear. I want you to join me because we are about to destroy this whole city. And I need you with me. As Machia said, I'm very happy, Master. Please just tell me whatever. Tell me who do you want me to kill. But I have a question. What's happened to the young Master, Izuku? As after that, Ulfron said, don't worry about him. He's a lost cause. Just forget about him. As after that, Giganto said, alright, Master. Thank you for coming and to see me. I really missed you a lot. I really missed you a lot. As after that, Ulfron said, alright, alright, Machia, just stop crying. As immediately Machia just stopped crying and said, alright, Master, where should I go? As immediately Ulfron said, keep this thing with you. As he just gave him, some sort of a tracker in front of course, in front of Giganto. As he said, when the portal of Kurogiri will gonna open up, go right through it. Understand? As after that, Giganto said, alright, Master. Alright. As after that, Ulfron said, alright, Giganto. I'm gonna leave. As Giganto said, alright, Master, I will be waiting here until the portal will gonna open and I'm just gonna come to help you. As after that, Ulfron said, I know that you will, Giganto. I know that you will. As after that, he just leave the place, and inside his head, he heard the sound of Izuku said, you will not gonna run away with this, Dad. I'm gonna get you. In the end, as after that, Ulfron just going inside his mindscape into the emptiness of the darkness of his head, just seeing Izuku standing in front of him, and Ulfron said, Izuku, are you still here? You seem that you didn't get deleted yet. As Ulfron seeing that Izuku's right arm, all of it have turned into dust and there's nothing left of it. As he said, but you are getting, you are dying slowly and slowly. Maybe after 1 week you will be disappeared. As after that, Izuku said, I will be already have killed you by this time. As after that, Ulfron said, oh, really? What can you possibly do, Izuku? You're all alone, you have no one on your back. As Izuku said, well, while you were talking with Giganto and just talking with Shigaraki, I made a couple new friends. As after that, immediately Izuku moved his hand forward, shooting a black whip out of his hand, wrap it around Ulfron. As he said, wait, this quirk is one of the quirks of the previous users of One For All. How did you? As after that, a couple of shadows stand behind Izuku. As he said, we really didn't get along in the beginning, but we all agreed that we all hate you. And I will make sure that I will gonna kill you now. As after that, Izuku just lifting his hand up, throwing Ulfron up into the air. And after that, Ulfron said, what a stupid child. As he immediately break through the black whip and shooting an air cannon into Izuku. But suddenly, the air cannon just go right through it, which surprised All Might immediately, but he got a hit from Izuku, a punch into his face, directly throwing him away. As Ulfron stand up again and said, you really don't get it, do you? Even if you defeated me here, you will not be able to take control back. I am in control here. You are just a watcher, and you will gonna watch until you will disappear. So come at me and try to fight me if you want. As much as I'm surprised about that power of yours, intangibility, it seems quite off of its place. I doesn't remember any one of the previous users of One For All using, but before he managed to continue, Izuku shooting an air cannon to his body, but Ulfron just immediately using his goo portal teleports himself into the opposite, into the right, a little bit into the right, so he can dodge the attack. As he said, don't you have manners? Let your father continue talking. As Izuku said, father? You? What a stupid joke. You just used me, and I'm gonna kill you for that. You're the reason for my mother death, you're the reason for the blood on my hands, and you are the reason for me being in this situation. I'll make sure that I will gonna make your death slow and painful. As after that, Izuku just jumped into Ulfron, but Ulfron just starts shaking his head left and right and said, you never learn, don't you? as he immediately just disappeared out of the vision of Izuku into nowhere. And Izuku starts screaming, saying, "No, no, no, no! Come back, you coward!" As after that, immediately someone put his hand on Izuku's shoulder and said, "Calm down already, he will gonna come back." At the end, as after that, Izuku calmed down and said, "It's just, I need to defeat him. I just can't stay here. I'm gonna die soon, and I already lost my right arm." As after that, Izuku turned around and said, "And I just can't look into your eyes, Mirio. I just can't look into them. I killed you, and I really regret it." As after that, Mirio said, "Come on, I thought that we already got over that. And after all, it wasn't your fault. All for One used you. You are not the first one to be used by him. And I just wish that you were gonna be the last one." As after that, from behind Mirio, someone else steps up. Basically, none other than Nana Shimura, the former master of course, All Might. As she said, "Mirio is right, Midoriya. Maybe you are his son, but just like any other person that All Might ever met, he was using you. And it's not your fault. Maybe I hate you a little bit, but we need your help so we can defeat him once and for all. So stay strong and keep yourself together, because when the time will gonna come, your fight will be the last fight. And I wish that you will be the last person to finally deliver the last blow to All for One." As after that, Izuku said, "Alright. Looks like I'll have to get used to this intangibility of yours, Mirio." As Mirio said, "Yeah, you're getting used to it very fast for someone kinda, half dead." As Izuku said, "Stop talking like this." And after that, Mirio starts shaking rubbing the back of his head. But by this time, let's cut with UA and everyone else. Toga and Twice, with Class 1A, as she's just sitting in front of Class 1A with of course, Twice, and everyone is just sitting, of course, Class 1A sitting in front of Toga and Twice, and of course, Aizawa is there, standing in front of all the class, and by his side, Toga and Twice. I doesn't know how many times did I said that, but anyways, as after that, immediately, the Uraka said, "So let me put this like this. You're telling us that you want us to help you to fight All for One, that is supposed to be a villain that All Might couldn't defeat, and Toga and Twice are trying to help us?" As immediately Eraserhead said, "Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. So, what do you say, everyone?" As after that, immediately Uraka said, "It's just so much. Can you just repeat that?" As Toga said, "Come on, it's so simple. We need your help to get Izu back. And after that, we will just gonna leave." As after that, immediately, of course, Ida speaks up and said, "Mr. Aizawa, are you sure about that? Keeping a villains with us in UA is such a dangerous thing." "Well, I know it's such a dangerous thing, but we need every single help that we could possibly get, even from you students. So, are you ready to help us or not? This will be something important. If we let All for One go freely in the street as much as he wants, maybe there will be no Japan to protect anymore, and everyone will die. So, what do you say, everyone?" As after that, everyone just looking on each other and agreed to that. But immediately Toga starts, jumping in happiness and said, "Alright, I want to work with the Uraka." As after that, Uraka said, "Oh, why me? I doesn't want to work with you." As after that, Uraka, of course, Toga said, "No, I'm gonna work with you. You're my friend, right?" As Uraka said, "Who said that I am your friend? You attacked me and you tried to kill me before." As after that, Toga said, "Well, that was before I was a villain, but right now I supposed to work with heroes, so technically I'm kinda a hero, and so we are both heroes, right?" As Uraka said, "Just stay away from me." As Twice said, "I'm happy to work with all of you, and I wish that I will gonna be a great help for you. We will gonna all die. All of you are just a stupid idiots with even stupider quirks, and even stupider personalities. Every one of you are just idiots. No, you're not. As after that, Aizawa said, this is really getting on my nerve. And immediately Aizawa said, well, Toga, twice, come with me, we need to speak with someone else. As after that, Toga said, alright, see you around, Oraka. See you around, everyone. As after that, she just left the place. And with, of course, Aizawa. And Aizawa told the rest of the class to enjoy their time, to just speak with each other and to, share their thoughts. And while that happening, in the office of Nezu, right now, he's just sitting down, and in front of him, finally, someone that came from such a long journey into Japan. As after that, Principal Nezu said, I'm happy that you managed to come here as fast as possible. We really need your help, especially in this time. All Might is really not able to fight anymore, and One for All has been lost to the villains, and we really need your help. So, what do you say? Are you going to help us? As after that, immediately, she put her hand on the table and said, of course I'm gonna do that, Principal Nezu. In the end, I am Stars and Stripes. If I will just gonna sit down while my master All Might will gonna be attacked by his arch nemesis, what kind of a hero I am? As after that, immediately, of course, Principal Nezu said, well, thanks, Stars. So, sure, how about I go and show you the place? As after that, Stars said, well, this will be a great thing. I want to see the other heroes that I'm gonna work with, and also the students. You told me that they are quite strong. As after that, immediately, Principal Nezu said, yeah, they are quite strong. But try to don't talk, don't scare them, alright? As, Stars said, well, I'm gonna try my hardest, Principal Nezu. As after that, they just leave the place. And let's cut into 2 days in the future. Right now, Izuku has only left of him is just half of his body. He lost a lot of his body and he might die at any moment, but he's still consciousness. He's still keeping his consciousness inside the head of All For One, while All For One has collected his Nomus, his Gigantomachia, and the rest of everything. As after that, with the heroes, Principal Nezu has got the help of Overhaul and, of course, Stars and Stripes, and also don't forget Toga and Twice and a couple other of students of UA, including the big 3 or the big 2 right now because one of them is dead, and also Class 1A. So, right now they are just waiting after scolding all the people in Japan into UA to protect them from any attack from the villains, and after that All Might is just standing in the middle of the street with the microphone as he's screaming inside the microphone saying, All For One, if you are hearing me, come and fight us. We are ready for you. We are not scared of you, so let this be the final battle. Show us what you got. As after that, immediately, All Might regretting what he says, saying inside his mind, that was stupid from me to say, but I hope that everyone is ready for this fight. As immediately, in front of All Might, a purple portal open up, and from it, All For One or Izuku comes out as he said, hey All Might, well, I really doesn't want to fight you. In the end, you are just quirkless and you are nothing for me. Just get out of my way. The taste of my revenge from you will not be as joyful and so tasty if you doesn't have your quirk One For All, right? So, where is it? Can I know where is your successor, where is your friend or anything like that? Oh, wait a second. Your successor is dead and your quirk is between my hands. Or maybe should I say my quirk? As after that, the purple portal opened up even more, taking Gigantomachia and the rest of the League of Villains out, and a couple other villains that Shigaraki have collected, and after that All Might being taken away from the scene with someone else. And right now, in front of everyone, standing Toga, Twice, Eraserhead, Prince, of course, Overhaul, Stars and Stripes, and everyone else. As after that, immediately All For One said, well, show me what you got. As immediately all of one jump up into the air and start throwing air cannons at the heroes, but some of the heroes with the barrier quirk block this attack, and immediately someone shooting like a spear of fire into All For One, which basically go right through his right arm. And when he look in front of him, he see the number 1 hero, Endeavor, flying off, start throwing a wave of fire, saying, "Well, I was waiting for this moment from a long time. It's time for me to prove that I am the real number 1." As immediately All For One said, "Oh, so that's all what you care about?" So pathetic, as he immediately go into Endeavor, and before he managed to get so close, suddenly someone grab him by the neck and smash him into one of the buildings, as he starts being smashed into more and more buildings, being pushed even further and further until he finally being spun around and thrown up into the air. As after that, some heroes with some laser quirks start shooting laser on him, but immediately a purple portal open up in front of All For One, taking the laser away and reflect it back into the heroes. And immediately Gigantos start doing his own work, while Endeavor was about to throw another wave of fire into All For One that right now in the air, he suddenly feels a massive heat of fire coming right towards him. And when he looked down, he see on the back of course, Gigantomachia, of course, the villain Dobby standing there, as he said, "Hey Endeavor, how about you come and fight me here? We have some things to talk about, you know." As after that, Endeavor looking down into Dobby, and he continue throwing a wave of fires into him, as Endeavor decided to go and fight Dobby, seeing that other heroes are taking care of All For One. And after that, when All For One finally starts walking in the air using his quirk Airwalk, he look in front of him as he see the person that was holding him from the neck basically being Stars and Stripes, as immediately All For One said, "So you came from America to hear Stars? What a surprise, I really didn't expect that." As after that, Stars said, "Well, how do you think that I will just gonna sit down waiting while you are taking control over Japan? You really think that I will just gonna wait for that?" As after that, All For One said, "Well, really not, but I was waiting. I thought that maybe the villains that I send into America will gonna keep you away for a couple of other months while I am taking control over Japan, but looks like that I will gonna have to take your quirk here, New Order, you know. To be honest with you, is a godlike quirk. It's even stupid to call it a quirk. With this ability, you just can bestow any rule that you want on anything that you want, but it will not gonna be really useful against me in the end. You doesn't know my real name, and also I'm not Izuku Midoriya, so it will gonna be so useless against me." As after that, Stars and Stripes said, "Well, maybe it will be useless against you, but not on me," as she immediately said her own name and said, "From now on, I'm gonna have regeneration, super regeneration," as she immediately just put that role on herself by the side of the role of flight. And immediately All For One said, "Oh, so you are just you're not gonna use some sort of a, overpower order or something like that? I thought that you're like All Might so much," which really make me angry. Even after All Might is already being taken care of, there are still some people in this world that caring for him, that holding his name, that going by his legacy. As long as there is one person, just a single person in this world, that remembering the name of All For One, that remembering the name of All Might, I will never gonna be resting in peace. As after that, immediately Stars and Stripes said, "And who said that we care of your peace, All For One?" As she immediately flying into All For One shooting an air cannon into her. She immediately dodged this attack and changed one of her orders, being instead of a flight, she changed it into super strength, and she immediately got hold of All For One, but All For One pushing her off of his body by just shooting an air cannon through her stomach, which basically make a big hole inside her stomach, but she starts regenerating by the order that she put upon herself. After that, all for one just pushing her over and she starts falling from the sky, but changing the order of superpower into the flight, she starts flying until she falls into the ground. Another hero being, of course, none other than Eraserhead, looks into All for One, which start making him fall from the sky. And after that, All for One just looking into Eraserhead, and suddenly a purple portal opened up under his legs, teleporting him closer into Shigaraki. As All for One said, "What's happening here, Shigaraki?" As Shigaraki said, "Giganto is taking care of all the heroes, and Dabi is fighting against Endeavor and his son Todoroki. We are trying to hold as many heroes as possible, Master, but we can't hold Stars. You need to take her by yourself." As after that, immediately All for One said, "Well, that will be not a big problem. Just make sure to not let anyone get in our way, especially Eraserhead. He will be such a dangerous threat against me." And after that, immediately a gray goo covering the whole body of All for One, and immediately teleporting him closer into, of course, Stars immediately bestowing upon herself the order of super strength instead of flight, so she can be able to fight against head to toe against All for One. Immediately she starts throwing punches while All for One covering his arms with air cannon, throwing air punches just like Izuku was once dead, and they start throwing punches against each other, and they are just so strong. But suddenly from the right side of All for One, he see a hand were about to touch him, so he immediately, without any thinking, using the quirk gray teleportation or the goo teleportation, teleport himself a little bit back, and when he look in front of him, he see none other than, of course, Overhaul, as Overhaul standing by the side of course, Stars and Stripes, and he's right now in his monstrous form after morphing with one of his comrades, being none other than Corona. As after that, Stars and Stripes said, "I never thought that I will gonna work with a villain." As of course, Overhaul said, "The same feeling I have here. I never thought that I will gonna work with a hero, but you know what they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right?" As Stars said, "Well, how about we defeat this asshole so fast, and after that we go back to fight each other?" As Overhaul said, "I agree to that 100%. As he immediately jumped into All for One after putting his hand into the ground, shooting spikes into All for One, but immediately All for One start dodging them left and right using 6 senses, his quirk 6 senses to dodge this attack, while Stars and Stripes going into Overhaul, into All for One to immediately hit him in his stomach, which actually managed to make a hole through his body. All for One finally decided to use his trap card, or his little secret, start flirking electricity, and of course using one fall around his body, going into 50% basically, and after that throwing a punch into the face of course, Stars and Stripes. Immediately Stars being, her heads fly off of her body, but she immediately starts to regenerate it again. And after that, Overhaul come from the back to go and touch All for One, but All for One immediately again teleport himself with that gray goo. But after that, once he teleported himself a little bit away, suddenly a knife being stabbed into the back of his back. As after that, when he looked back, he sees someone has already jumped off of his back and took a knife out, and he looked in front of him to see the hero killer Stain. As Stain said, "I thought that you are his father, but you are just taking control of his body. You're really angering me. I thought that Izuku was stupid enough to start going on a rampage of heroes in Japan, but looks like that you are the one that got control of his body. Well, I hope that you doesn't mind him getting back into control, right?" As immediately Stain licked the blood of Ultron off of the knife, which immediately paralyzed Ultron, making him fall on the ground, and immediately Overhaul going directly into Ultron to touch him. But suddenly, before he managed to do that, a purple portal opened up under the legs of Ultron, teleporting him back by the side of course, Shigaraki. As Shigaraki said, "Master, are you okay?" As after that, immediately, Ultron said, I'm okay, Shigaraki, don't worry. Just, I'll have a couple of seconds. I'm gonna be on the ground for a couple of seconds." As after that, immediately, Shigaraki said, "Alright, Sensei." And after that, they tried to attack Ultron, but immediately Kurigiri is just teleporting him all around, which immediately make Stars Stripes bestow a new order upon herself, changing her past two orders, one turning it into a flight, and the second one, she made the order that she can hold smoke, basically to be able to hold the mist of Kurigiri and to stop him from using his portal abilities, as she managed to do that by basically getting hold of the portal and destroy it between her fingers. And after that, Ultron start basically without any portal to be teleported around, Overhaul going directly to touch him, and he actually managed to touch him, exploding the body of Ultron. But after that, the moment that he done that, Ultron regeneration start kicking in and regenerating the upper half of his body before the rest of his body of course explode, which resulted in him finally the paralyzing time of of course, the one that named Stain have finally gone away, and Ultron finally being able to move, as he said, "Alright, that's enough. I had enough of all of you. Now let me show you what I can do." As after that, he holding his left hand up into the air and getting ready, using air cannon, using a couple other quirks, quirk activation, one for all, and a couple others. But suddenly, when he tried to throw the attack, it just stops, as he said, "What?" As he hearing the sound in the back of his head said, "Do you really think that I will just gonna let you use your powers like that? I want them to win as much as you want to win. And I doesn't care if they will gonna kill me to get rid of you." As after that, immediately Ultron getting angry and said, "You little brat. You little fucking..." But before he managed to continue, suddenly a solid punch being thrown into his face, pushing him into the ground, and Ultron getting hold of himself by using airwalk, as he look in front of him left and right, but he doesn't see Stars and Stripes anywhere. He's just seeing her standing on the ground. And after that, he said, "Where did that came from?" As after that, he hear a sound in front of him saying, "From me." As he look on the top of one of the buildings, as he see Mirio Togata standing in front of Ultron. As after that, Stars and Stripes jump by his side with Stain and also Overhaul. As after that, immediately Ultron said, "Wait, you are alive? How?" Oh, Overhaul, that explains a lot. As after that, immediately Mirio said, "Yeah, thanks about that, Overhaul." As Overhaul said, "Don't thank me. Nighteye told me that he wants you to come back, so I just done what he want me to do. And also, and after all, we need you to destroy this idiot, right?" As immediately Mirio said, "Alright, now listen here, you Ultron, I'm gonna get rid of you, and I'm gonna take Izuku back, no matter what it takes from me." As after that, immediately Ultron said, "You all really annoying. You know what? I had enough of playing. Now I'm gonna show you really my real power. The power that made All Might himself being scared of me. So I hope that you are prepared, because now I'm not playing around." And this is Gali Fitaf, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think about this part, and what do you think will gonna happen in the next part. Well, I have nothing more to say than Severed was here.